Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study about absorption of drugs. Absorption is the phase where the drug goes from the site of administration. We have studied the different routes of administration to the bloodstream. Now, there are the mechanisms of absorption for the drug are shown in this diagram. First of all, you can see passive diffusion. Passive is when the drug goes in the direction of the concentration gradient from higher concentration to lower concentration. Passive diffusion of a water soluble drug through an aqueous channel. It does not require any special energy or anything. It is just passive transport from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration. Next is facilitated diffusion. In this, it is the drug molecules of higher molecular weight, so it requires a drug transporter to facilitate the diffusion of the drug. The next is active transport. It is against the concentration gradient. It is from lower concentration towards the higher, and so it requires energy molecule, hydrolysis of ATP. Endocytosis is the engulfment of the large drug molecules, and this engulfment goes inside the cell. Now here the passive diffusion of the drug is towards the concentration gradient. Facilitated diffusion it requires specialized transmembrane carrier proteins. Active transport is against the concentration gradient, and it is driven by the hydrolysis of it in ATP. Endocytosis is the engulfment of the cell drug molecule by the cell membrane and transportation into the cell. Exocytosis is the reverse. It is the process to secrete the substance out of the cell. Okay, now factors influencing absorption. The first factor is pH. Most of the drugs are either weak acids or weak basic. A drug passes the membrane only when it is uncharged. Weak acids are uncharged in this form and weak bases are uncharged in this form. Now acidic drugs will release proton, and it also causes a charge anion to form, while the basic drugs, which are weak bases, when they release a proton, they form a basic drug which is usually uncharged, and this crosses the cell membrane. In the case of weak acid, this crosses the cell membrane. We can see in the figure, you can look at here, when the drug is a weak acid, the full combination crosses, but in case of weak base, this part of the drug is charged, so it does not cross the cell membrane. The uncharged part crosses. The next factor is blood flow to the absorption site. The intestine receives more blood flow than does the stomach, so the absorption in the intestine is more favored. Total surface area available for the absorption, it is available in the intestine in the form of microvilli. Contact time at the absorption surface. In case of diarrhea, the GI tract releases the drug very quickly, so it gets less contact time and the drug is less absorbed. The presence of the food in the stomach also dilutes the drug and slows the gastric emptying. Therefore, a drug taken with the meal is generally absorbed more slowly. The last is expression of P-glycoprotein. It is a transmembrane transporter protein which is responsible for transporting various molecules, drugs across the cell membrane. It is expressed in the tissues throughout the body. It is involved in the transportation of the drugs from tissues to the blood. It mainly pumps the drug out of the cells. Thus, if you have more P-glycoprotein in some areas, it reduces the drug absorption.